Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at BTC. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Before we jump into the lower degree counts, we're going to just go over a couple of the bearish ideas here that we have, where this is potentially 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at this as A, B, C, D, E, where we could have this as a triangle. Now, invalidation of this would be by a substantial break above this zone of the C wave here, which is sitting at the 7523. If we start to break substantially above that, and then final invalidation would be 28123, this would invalidate the idea of this being a triangle here. If we do, however, continue to respect this idea, what we would then be looking for would be a 5-wave move to the downside, where we could be looking for 24684 to this 23923. So effectively with this, we'd want to be looking for this breakdown to start now. Now, it is also possible we could argue that this move is just moving down in a corrective way here, where this is A, B, and C. And what we could still be looking for is a bigger B wave. Now, within this B wave, the idea of the triangle would also align, except we would be looking for a much bigger break to the downside here. We would be looking for 22264 as our potential one-to-one target. So need to keep an eye on this idea as well if this is a triangle, because this could align with actually seeing a much deeper break to the downside here in the C wave. Now, if we are also looking at this as a 5-wave structure, we still need to be on the lookout here that if this move is a diagonal, and we've talked about this for a while now, basically saying that if this is A, this becomes B, we could still be looking for this C wave to the downside. And I'm still continuing to keep an eye on this for as long as we actually stay below this 27,521. There is potential here that we could still be looking for this secondary 5-wave structure to the downside here, where what we'd be saying is that this move here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we'd be looking for a bigger break to the downside, where what we'd say is that this is wave 1, 2, we've come up to the 0.854. The problem with this move is we have come up very high here, and there is still potential within this count to see another high. Invalidation of this potential of a 5-wave structure from this point over here would be breaking back above that high, which is 27,483. If we do remain below this, we do have the potential here that this move could become 1, 2. And then we'd be looking for this third wave to confirm by crossing this 24,950. In this idea, what we'd then be looking for is this single 5-wave move to the downside. Now, if we do get this as just A, B, and C, this would align both into the idea here of the diagonal pattern here, where what we are saying is that this is A, B, and C, where we would be looking for our wave 3 over here. And then we'd be looking for a 4th and a 5th wave to the downside. So this would be looking to complete in zigzag structures, looking for just corrective moves down, A, B, C, 3 waves up, 3 waves back to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for within this. If we do see this move push down here one more time, that 1-to-1 level would be this 24,737, and effectively this would align then with still taking this wave 1 low here. So we need to be on the lookout for something like this, because if we do see 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and another 3 waves to the downside, this could still align with our higher degree count here, where effectively this whole move is still just a bigger A, B, and a C pattern, just that the C wave is playing out in a diagonal. And then we'd have to watch how we react. If we do form a 5-wave move down here like this, we need to be on the lookout that after that point, we could start to see impulsive structure to the upside. So it's going to be very important to see how this move plays out here, to see whether we actually push back down in this way and see, another 5-wave structure to the downside, or whether we continue to hold this and look to push up from this point. Because as we've discussed in previous videos here, we've got the potential that we could be following a bigger corrective structure here, where actually our A wave has already completed into this low, and we could be looking for either a move back up into the 786 to this 50%, or alternatively even an overshooting B wave up here into the zone of this 33,548 to this 31k region. I haven't written off this idea. It still would make a lot of sense as, coming back up here, sweeping these highs before having a more violent sell-off. So we're going to have to just see whether we actually can get the strength to get up there, or whether we're just going to see this progress straight to the downside, because we need to also be just respectful that if this B wave is here, like we've talked about in the previous videos, until we actually break back above this level here of the 28,142, we need to be careful that this move could still play out in a bigger 5-wave structure down, just like we have marked out here. So until we start breaking this high, we need to just respect the fact that this count could still be looking to play out. B could be completed here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but at the moment we are still showing strength above these lows here. So just going to be on the lookout that, you know, even if we do look to push up here, going to have to see exactly how this plays out, because if we just see a move up into this orange target box here, we could still see the continuation to the downside at a later point, where we could still be looking for some of these lower targets here. And depending on how high we bounce here, this will change these targets. If we only had to bounce up towards this 0.6 at this 28,699, this would then put that 1-to-1 target down here at this 23,601. But we'd have to then also just be careful of the extension potential here, where we could see some of these lower target areas getting hit. And then that could also align with that more bearish case, which we said, you know, we need to be careful that any kind of a 5-wave structure that passes this 2903, we need to just be on the lookout for that possibility of a deeper corrective move actually forming here. Now we're going to come in here and actually have a look at the subwave counting here and the couple of ideas that we were looking at in the previous video. So we've been talking about this potential that the whole structure here could be just extending to the upside in a corrective move, where this effectively is ABC for an A wave here. And we're looking for this either as A, B, and C. And we still have one more drop to the downside here, where we could potentially look to revisit this level of this 25,775. Or alternatively here, this B wave could already be in play here. Now, if this is a B wave already in play here, what I'm going to be looking out for here is that potentially we could start to actually see some upwards price action playing out, where what this is this would then become either an A wave or a W wave. We'd get this as an X wave or a B wave, and then we'd either be looking for a 5-wave move to the upside, or alternatively, if we do get this as A, B, and C, this could still align with a B wave here, where what we'd be saying is that this would be W, X, and Y. So the key thing that I'm looking out for here is I'd want to see another push to the upside here for this Y wave. 28,082 is going to be that zone that we're looking for this Y wave. If we do see this actually play out in 3 waves, then the next thing that I'm going to be looking out for is this a completed B wave over here, or is this just our A wave of that B wave? So the key thing here is that if we do get this corrective structure here and we only get 3 waves back down, then we could be looking at this move actually just looking to extend out sideways here, and we could just see this actually develop as a bigger A, B, and a C pattern, where we look to come back down potentially to this previous X wave here, which is quite common within B waves. We do often see a retest of these levels, and then looking for, you know, this continuation to the upside after this point. So we're going to have to just watch the internals of these structures here and see how we continue to play out. There is potential here that we could be looking at a 5-wave move that is still incomplete. If we do get that 5-wave move complete, then we need to just be careful, because we do have potentially a 5-wave structure here. So this could always evolve into a more bullish move to the upside. So we need to be very careful of that. So within that idea of the breakout that we discussed in the previous videos, this would be looking at something like this, where this is wave 1, 2, and effectively what we'd be looking for would be building this wave 3, looking for 30,494 as a potential target. Now internally here, if we come and have a look at this, there's a couple of ways we can look at this move where we could potentially count this as an impulse. Now we could argue that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as an expanding diagonal. Now this would have to be a leading diagonal if this is the case, and what we'd then be saying is that potentially this could actually complete into this point here. The other way we could argue this is that this is 1, 2, this is all 3, 4, and 5. Now it is also possible internally here we could have one more 5th wave before we get that additional 4th and 5th, and we're going to go over that in a second. But if this is a diagonal, what we would then be expecting from this high over here is to actually see price looking to retrace back down here, looking for 26,641 to this 26,267, and then we'd be looking for that continuation to the upside here in a bigger 5-wave move. Now if this move just forms as A, B, and C, and we only get a push towards this 27,827, we need to be careful here that this isn't some kind of a flat correction, and we could still be looking for a break to the downside in a C wave. Alternatively, if we do just get another 5-wave move to the upside here, where we just get a push up towards that 1-to-1 level, then it is still possible here. We could form something like this, 1, 2, then we form another 1, 2 here, and then we actually start to get going for this bigger impulsive structure if it is actually going to play out. Now, the key zone, like I said here, that we need to reach for this to be confirmed as a wave 3 would be this 30,494. It doesn't have to reach this zone, but it's the most common target area, so we tend to look for those interactions when we are looking for impulses. If, however, this move is not completed, and we said that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we could still have an additional push up here, more locally, where what we could then see is something more along these lines. Now, I am open to the interpretation that this is 1, 2, 3. The problem is internally here, it would make more sense that if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, we still have another fifth wave to come to the upside here. So within this idea, what we'd then be saying is that potentially the yellow fourth wave is still in play, and we could still be looking for an additional push to the upside here for this fifth wave. Now, the target area for this would typically be between this 27,596 to this 27,418. If we do, however, see this drag on for too long, then it becomes more likely that we are going to be seeing the white fourth wave playing out here, which would change the targets slightly, and effectively it would change these targets just a little bit lower here towards this 26,702. That would be the zone we don't want to lose. If, however, the yellow count is in play here, what I would be looking for is still having this additional yellow fifth wave to the upside. It is possible this could be forming as something like a triangle here, A, B, C, D, and potentially an E wave, and then we look to break up. Or alternatively, this could be W, X, and Y, and we could still see another push down here towards this 26,823. And 1-to-1 of this is A, B, and C, or W, X, and Y would actually be here towards this 26,793. So if we do move back into that zone, it will be quite an interesting level for sure. We'll have to see whether we do get this continuation up here, or whether this just starts to roll. If we do get another fourth and a fifth here, the key thing here for any kind of a bullish move is we'd have to hold this 25,990. If we lose this low over here, then effectively the bullish can't start to fall apart, and we'd be looking for potentially that idea that, you know, this could be looking to complete, or alternatively, like I said, we could get this as A, B, and a C if we're looking at this as a WXY. So, you know, we need to be on the lookout that within this idea here, where this is WX and then we're looking for a Y wave, even if we do see a break of this low, we could still see the potential of actually seeing a C wave up. So it's going to be very important how we break the low. If we break the low here and we fail to push beyond the zone here of this typical rejection area for a flat, which would be 25,478, we can still look at something like this playing out just as a more corrective structure here, looking for still potentially an A wave or a B wave to the upside, and then looking for that continuation down from that point. So it's going to be very key here how we continue to respond to these levels. I am watching this bullish count here to see whether we do get this additional fourth and a fifth. If we do get that fourth and a fifth, then it's going to become key here what happens after that point. If we do look at this move as an additional fourth and a fifth, if we get another fourth and a fifth here, this would then potentially complete this five wave structure to the upside, and then it's going to be key what happens from that point. 3 waves down could mean continuation to the upside. Alternatively, if we start to see 5 wave structure to the downside, we need to be careful that that's not going to extend down, looking for that C wave. Like I said, until we actually take this high here, we need to just respect those bearish counts where they could still look to play out. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.